Cool. Okay, so this video is about explaining the architecture or my view around the architecture for chat, which now includes pubnub as a message broking service or a real-time service to the UI. So if you look at the diagram on the screen, the basic idea that I've got is to use a NoSQL type of data store between our relational data store, SQL data store, and our dispatcher to actually handle the requests going to the pubnub framework. So what I'm trying to say is that pubnub is going to be our channel between messages, between users, the flow of messages, but our data store would be a mix of NoSQL and SQL. So SQL will actually not be directly influenced or used, but the NoSQL store will, and this is basically to make it more speedier, to store our actual JSON data into that store, retrieve the JSON data out of the store, without basically affecting SQL lookups, any other data in SQL. So basically we'll have a store to manage to store and get our chat data from, without affecting SQL and without affecting speed, and having the messages flow to pubnub. So a request will come in, it will go to the dispatcher will see it's, let's say, a new chat message, and it will basically fire off to pubnub. From there, it will go to NoSQL, and in its own time will have a data load and extract that will go to NoSQL and push data into SQL. So then you might ask, what about data that's already in the CreditEase system that we need within chat? So the way that will work is that our little data load and extract service will push data from SQL into NoSQL. So the NoSQL would be sort of, let's call it a caching layer, where our dispatcher will basically go to get data, use it in our request, and push it to pubnub. So if it's a request that needs any data, well, if it's a request coming into the system, the dispatcher will go off to NoSQL, check, do we have anything for it? Yes, we do. We use it and we push it through. If it's new data, what will happen is it will get stored and the response will get pushed through to pubnub. The actual data load and extract method will then, in the background, go in its own time, load the data from NoSQL and extract it into SQL. So just to note why it would be fast is because we'll work with actual JSON documents in the NoSQL store. We won't worry about taking the data and extracting it and go and do lookups and stuff. That basically will happen in the background, but on the fly data will be in the NoSQL store, as well as pushing the data through to the pubnub message broker. Sorry for that. So that's the basic architecture. So we still have our dispatcher, we still have our SQL, but we've got an extra layer in there, basically the pubnub and the NoSQL layer, which will be used for data handling and message sending. Okay, so that's that. This diagram, please just note this diagram is posted on our Slack channel in the document section, so you can pull it from there as well. Okay, so on a technology wise, is my mind basically sitting between three technologies. All three of them have got Windows versions, so we can install them and basically running in Windows. There's a sort of Linux versions as well that you can use for them, but the Windows versions works obviously just as well, and we don't obviously want to mix platforms or OS platforms. So the first one I'm aiming towards is actually Elasticsearch. I've used it before. It is actually built for search, but it's also a very good NoSQL data store. So it's got a very powerful searching engine, which makes it very fast to get data from, which is a plus for me, and it works very nice. You can actually configure it to be a very powerful, a very fast store, because it's actually built for search. It actually allows you to get stuff very fast out of the NoSQL store. Then we've got CouchDB. CouchDB, it's easy to set up. It's easy to maintain. The problem I've got with CouchDB is it's not that easy to get data out of it. Or it's not hard, but it's not as fast as Elasticsearch. It's not really built for search, but it's built to be a big data store. And on top of that, you can have great analytics, which Elasticsearch is not so good in, which CouchDB is better in, but you've got a lot of tools, extra stuff that you can download and install around Elasticsearch if you want to go into big data analytics. Then there's Redis. So Redis is basically a caching store. It is a memory-based caching store. It is fast. It is really super fast. It's very easy to put data in and out. It actually works on key value pairs. The problem I've got with it, obviously, or the problem with it is that if the box goes down, it's wiped out of memory, and you, of course, you don't need to worry about memory management with it, because it actually manages the memory for you. But the problem is that if your box goes down, so is your data. So if our little extra data load and extract service process has not pulled any of the data into SQL, or our data is not pushed into memory fast enough and the box goes down, that sort of get lost. So although it's an in-memory thing, it's an in-memory store, it's very easy and fast to use. I actually think that Redis is not really an option, although I'm sort of playing with the idea of using it. So obviously one of the first tasks for me would be to define our architecture and our technologies. I will put all tasks that I'm talking about in this video, I will put it on Trello. You will actually we'll see that it's on Trello, and we can follow that as our direction in getting the chat done. Then just lastly, before I finish off the video, because this video was mainly just about chatting about our architecture, which I took you through, is just the use of the dispatcher and where I see the technologies being implemented. So what I don't see is that chat list and chat members actually gets that the methods, or the calls behind this method actually uses any NoSQL platform technology. I think these are very straightforward methods, and I think they should stay as is. The other methods, the chat messages, of course, those two are methods that I see obviously NoSQL being involved, and of course then pubnub technology. So between us, the task should basically be to take these two methods and implement the NoSQL and the pubnub stuff. So again, please check the Trello board. I will put the task on there, and I will assign them to members from there. If you've got any questions around anything that I've talked about in this video, please drop me a Slack or drop me an email, and we can then decide how to go about from there. Cool. So I hope this video helped. And like I said, please contact me